Hey everybody, my name is Shawn Shaler, and this is my friend Chris Ford, and I just waved at the camera and pointed at my friend Chris Ford out of habit because usually you can see us. And so I'm really sorry that this time you can't see us. But I'm
Or you
going
should be
through
grateful.
yeah. I'm going through my room is going through some reconstruction at the moment. So, first of all, I don't have a ceiling or a computer. And then, second of all, if it sounds really echoey, it's because all there is in my room is mostly like HVAC in the ceiling. So, I'm sure I sound very, very vibrato and reverby, and I'm really sorry. So, forgive me for this episode. It's not Chris's fault. I'll take all the heat for it. It's going to look and sound a little different. But next week, hopefully, we will be back on track, just like normal. And I didn't even finish my introductions. That's Chris, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. Chris, how you doing this week?
I am doing fine. No
Excellent.
complaints.
Did you find it at least a little bit nice to not have to worry about your appearance prior to the podcast?
I never worry about my physical appearance. Like I always look, even if my hair is like weird, which my hair is never really all that weird, especially to other people. It's probably weird to me sometimes, so I let it grow a little bit.
So you're saying
Uh,
all this, but Chris, what?
I know. It's like my hair grows half an inch. I'm like, oh gosh, I need to cut my hair. Um,
Grows half an inch. You start
but
to look homeless. Man, you're not
yeah,
even Afro Chris like college Chris was.
no,
I
I
wish I,
miss my braids so much all the time.
I wish I had known
Especially
long hair Chris.
especially with Kawhi Leonard in league. Like I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
I miss having braids.
yeah. It's alright that you can. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Well, my wife doesn't really like it, so
Well, I was gonna say, and you have two children, and so if you were gonna be going bald, I think you'd have started by now. I don't think you're gonna go bald, so I think you got some time to change her mind.
yeah,
So no
yeah.
rush, you know.
Well, then it's a fiscal thing, right? So if I got my hair braided, you need to get your hair braided probably every 2 weeks, really maybe more than that.
Oh, I didn't
But
realize it was
like,
that regular, but I guess if it grows out, it makes sense.
yeah, but like in high school, right? I used to pay. It's weird we're talking about this. Like I would just pay a girl up the street. Like just pay a girl up the street, just go to her house, and she'll braid my hair for me for like $8 or $10, which is
Perfect.
cheap.
Yeah,
It
that's
is that is
amazing.
really, really cheap. But if I went to like a professional and like braiding hair takes like, especially you get designs in it and stuff, not just like straight like Kawhi Leonard has just like straight back cornrows. Like I used to get just like designs and stuff in there, which takes like 2 hours to do, maybe an hour to two. Straight backs take like maybe I don't know, 30 minutes or something. But if I actually went to like a salon and got that done, it'll probably cost like $50 or something. So now you're talking about $100 a month, and it's just,
And
I don't
very
even cut.
time consuming too, isn't it? Like you go into a
Yeah,
salon and get any kind of design work done, I feel like you gotta sit there like you're getting makeup drawn on for a
yeah.
movie or something.
I've always enjoyed getting it's so relaxing to me, getting my hair braided. I miss it. It's the only time I was in between girls' legs in high school. But
Sorry, that's probably really loud. That's probably because it's the loudest I've ever laughed on the podcast. That's amazing. It was. It is funny because I was about to my next comment was going to be like, I can either really enjoy my hair experience, like I just get a simple cut, I don't do anything with it, and that's fine. But I either really enjoy the experience if it's somebody that like seems like they enjoy their job, and I kind of like talking to them, and they like making the small talk, or I absolutely hate it if it's somebody who clearly hates their job or forces small talk or anything like that. It totally depends on the company essentially, and then you talk about being between her legs. So it's kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing. This
I'm about to
podcast is
go
not for
watch this.
kids.
I'm about to watch this back to see how we got on the topic and how we
I,
divulged
I
into my
don't.
high school social life. Like
I
that.
asked you if you didn't, if it felt good to not care
Oh,
about your
yeah, that's
appearance
right.
because I thought I didn't care about my appearance because it's always like it's just a podcast, nobody's judging. But it turns out like just
Yeah.
subconsciously, like I always just make sure like oh I want my hair combed and at least wearing like a clean shirt or like not a workout shirt or something like that. Sorry, that made it sound like a workout. I don't work out, but a shirt so gross that other people would use it as a workout shirt. And I didn't have to do that today. And that's kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. I just walked down
Uh,
here. I'm not even gonna tell you what I'm wearing right now.
well,
It's comfortable.
the only difference to me is, I mean, it's a kind of big difference. Is I had to move because I like to have good lighting. I need to move the lamp from my like storage where I need the lamp there, and in front of the camera. And so now I can just sit on the couch, doesn't matter. But this is only temporary. We'll be back with our faces on there if that matters to people.
Yeah, I don't know if it would matter to other people. I kind of hope it does. Like when I'm watching YouTube videos, even of podcasts, it's kind of
Yeah.
nice to have some movement.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
me personally, I take cues from you visually because I'm really bad about interrupting, which I've already done it like 5 times. Like I'm trying to prove a point, and so I try to take cues from you visually, and so I find it very helpful. Uh, when you finish whatever you were saying before I interrupted you, I actually have a story about lighting that is how we got into this predicament that we are in. But I believe I interrupted you saying
No,
something.
I'm done.
So I wanted to put up better lights specifically for our videos because I always feel like my room is just dark and unwelcoming, and it makes my camera look bad. My camera is not bad. It's a webcam, but it's a good webcam. And I wanted to put up better lights just to like have a better podcast presentation. And it's not a well lit room. So we tried to put up these lights, and we couldn't like because I had these stupid tiles in my ceiling. So it went from, oh, we can't mount it on the tiles normally, so we'd had to try a few different things, then nothing worked. And then I just got like really mad, and essentially was like, Heather, I'm tearing out the effing ceiling. And she's like, all right. And then I started doing it, and she's like, oh, you're serious? Okay, we're tearing out the ceiling. So I just tore out all the ceiling, these like 1980s ceiling tiles that were sagging and falling apart anyway. And so now I just have bare joists in my room. Like I caused all this havoc and destruction just for lights for our podcast. But long story short, I'm about done. The lights will go up. It'll be way better lit in here. Hopefully, it still sounds okay because I know those acoustic tiles are actually pretty good sound. What's it, like absorbent? Like they stop vibrations very well. So I'm hoping it doesn't destroy the sound by not having them in here. So we'll see. But long story short, my heart was in the right place. I swear. Um, Hey, that's about all of my life stories that I'll bother you with. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back to normal next week. So this week, kind of a buffer episode, but we also had a number of like interesting or semi-interesting news items to talk about. So we thought, you know what, it's a fine week for a buffer episode. And first, we should start by talking about Chris's latest videos.
Yeah, I haven't. I need to really get on it. I haven't done a lot of. I haven't done a movie review in like one of my stereotypical objective reviews in like 2 months since I saw Frozen.
I heard that
But it's that time
January
of year.
is the worst. January is like the worst
Yes.
YouTube month, though. So maybe you're not like missing a whole lot of opportunity or
Yeah.
anything.
Oh yeah. Well, also January is like the worst movie month usually because like after holidays and stuff, big studios just drop their crap in January and see what sticks because the likelihood of them making money is not that high anyway. So you'll
Okay.
rarely, probably never see a big blockbuster in January.
I don't even know who'd want to go
But
to the movie theaters for like a big blockbuster in January. Like that's a summer thing,
yeah,
right? Or maybe
yeah.
a Thanksgiving thing.
It's
It
not.
seems like big blockbusters happen sometimes.
It's all year nowadays. It used to be a summer thing, probably like 10 years ago or
Yeah.
something.
Well, that's probably the last time I
Um,
paid
yeah.
enough attention to movie theaters.
But my latest video, I did finally release the Sokka and Zuko on why it's the best friendship and what we can learn from them. It's all about gaining strength through humility, and it's probably one of the most videos that I just related to the most because I feel like I am humbled often, especially in my career. And I feel like this year I felt the most like I ever felt like Zuko. Like, what the heck am I doing? Like, what? This isn't it, or just I don't know, that feeling of like there's more that I need to be doing right now. So that's kind of what that video is about.
I feel that way about about things like probably once a week I have that conversation with myself like what am I trying to get at here, and then I look and I have a feeling that you're gonna feel similarly. Is like I have a very comfortable home life, very
Oh
comfortable,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
perfect, but it's like what else am I supposed to be shooting for here? Like am I trying to be a big executive, or is it time to like switch careers, shake things
The
up?
thing
Like
is,
I get into these
thing is,
real like existential crises, and then I always circle back around to like, hey, chill, you're just gonna go home and sit on the couch and be comfortable and happy.
yeah, the thing is, I have no aspirations to be like rich and stuff. I'm just like, man, if I could just, I don't know, have just a job that just brought out the best in me, use all of my skills to the best of my abilities. But my current one really doesn't. But also, that makes my job is really easy. Like sometimes I'm just like, this is so much easier than my job at
Payless,
Payless.
yeah, Payless, man, I love
I
Payless, but
remember,
we
I'm
worked.
yeah. But like the thing is, like it wasn't. It felt like compared to my current job, I had way more things. I never get stressed. I really ever got stressed at Payless. Um, but there was way more pressure on me on a weekly basis there than I have felt in my entire time in my new job.
I think my I don't have, and you said it really well. It's like I don't really have aspirations of being rich. I have aspirations of just like remaining comfortable, which I think at a
Yeah.
minimum is what most people want. And so then I always tell Heather like I don't know why because I know it's dying and it's dumb, but I always have these dreams of like just I want to run a radio station or I want to open a pawn shop or like just outrageous things. I'll just come home to Heather and be like, I bet this would be fun. And she looks at me, she's like, oh my God, here's existential crisis number 10. So I want you to
Yeah.
know that I empathize greatly with those feelings that you're feeling. I imagine other people do too. They just don't have podcasts where they get to express those feelings to the internet. Well, that's such is life. Long story short, you know what? You can take a break for some YouTube videos because if you had to pick a month, January is probably the month to skip, I would think, by the rules of
Yeah.
YouTube. I did make a couple videos this month, and they were both like silly, stupid. I was still proud of them, but they both came out like sillier than I intended going in. Like I wanted like semi-serious video game reviews with, but I always like things to be humorous. And then they came out mostly kind of sarcastic and dumb, and I was like, all right, that the tone. I got to work on my tone a little bit. But long story short, I have been trying my hand at more videos, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy the editing process and getting things where I like. So yeah, we'll see. I'd like to do.
Yeah.
I ordered two Avatar games for the PlayStation 2 that I would like to review in the near future. Um, they're pretty casual, and I imagine I know what the reviews will look like, but I think it'll still be fun.
Hmm.
I do have some Instagram and Twitter news. Chris, we officially have Instagram and Twitter handles specifically for the podcast. It is last underscore podcasters at Instagram and Twitter, all lowercase, the exact same. And I have not much idea what we'll use them for like during the week, but we will actively try to post interesting things. I don't want to like set high aspirations of like being a source of news or anything, but we will try to post interesting things, and of course post podcasts or videos to those two and Facebook as well. But we just felt like it was time to have like a specific mode of communication for people, and yeah, that they're live as of like 30 minutes ago. I already got like two friends
Yeah.
on Instagram or on Twitter, and one is you and one is Jamie. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That's
I'll be utilizing it because I have a lot of thoughts about Avatar all the time, and 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 I don't do them on Twitter because I feel like all the people who follow me on Twitter really don't follow me because of I don't know why they follow me. Honestly, it might just be
movies.
people who follow me.
I think they
I
follow you
think
because of movies.
I do have a lot more movie friends on Twitter, and so I'm like I don't feel like bogging down people's Twitter lines with Avatar stuff. I do every now and then anyway, but this would be a good resource for it.
I would.
It's funny. Like, I saw. Sometimes I feel like someone has seen our podcast and they took away something that one of us said and like posted it. I might just be completely hallucinating this, or just a coincidence. But
You don't have to pretend like it's anything I said.
but
What you mean
so
is took something
yeah.
intelligent that you said, or
So
maybe
today we're gonna talk
Jamie.
about Tales of Bossing Say, right? We're gonna rank. Yeah. So today we're gonna rank Tales of Bossing Say. But in our episode review of it, I mentioned how Katara um, told Toph that she was beautiful, and and how Toph knows she's telling the truth because Toph can tell. So now Toph actually knows that she's beautiful. Like we say that whenever time, and then someone posted that and shared it. It's pretty much the same thought. Like I've never seen anybody share that thought before. I wonder if
That's
someone watch our
yeah, that's
podcast,
kind of. I think
or it's
that's
just
kind of cool. Or maybe it's
or it's just a coincidence.
yeah. It could
Maybe they
no, I'm
didn't
gonna
say
say
it,
it's
but
cool. I'm gonna say it's cool. It makes me think
I
of
feel like I should.
Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted.
Oh, I don't say I just need to start like just putting little snippets out there of random thoughts that I have or you have, Shawn, and
That
put
one
it out.
thought a day that I have that relates to Sokka, I'll be happy to post it.
Yeah,
It reminds me of that thought reminded me of Drax. Like when you're ugly and people love you, that you know they actually love you, or however I don't remember how he says it in
yeah.
Guardians 2, and that's what that quote made me think of, and obviously still makes me think of it this time. I will say that I will. So I set us up for a buffer account, and the reason I'm saying this on the podcast is because if you have any like uh, sort of common accounts between Twitter and Instagram and Facebook page, you know, any business or whatever, you do have to have a Facebook page. You got to get a buffer account, and it seems like a small deal, but it's a huge time saver. That like if you grab an image or a screenshot, you know, in Chris Casey comes up with a thought, grabs a screenshot from the Wikia or whatever, a picture and post it on there with his thought, and you can post it to all three in like a minute. So whatever small audience we have on all three platforms, and you hit them right away, it's really convenient and it is completely free. So go use Buffer if you have any reason to use Buffer. You can't monitor people's activity with you. It's not like an all-in-one. It's just for posting, but it's still absolutely worth it. Go use Buffer. And Chris and I will also be using Buffer and posting, but then we will also be actively checking and responding. So I don't know. It's pretty exciting just to have a dedicated spot
Yes.
for Avatar everything's. I know you do the movie reviews and your channel. I don't want to give it percentages, but obviously a big chunk of it is at least related to Avatar or
I'm
creators
pretty
of
big jump.
Avatar, and I think all that will be perfect fodder for those mediums. And then finally, I say finally, we have some like actual like less selfish news, and
Yeah.
I guess that's the right way to call it. And Chris, I'll let you take it from here with a few pieces of Avatar in real life news.
Yeah, so I've been waiting like forever for Avatar Last Airbender Funko Pops, and they finally happened probably about 6 months ago. Um, and they're doing the follow up of Legend of Korra Funko Pops. So they're doing two Korras, one in Avatar State, one not in Avatar State, which they both look really good. The one in Avatar State, I mean, I'm gonna get them all. It doesn't matter. Looks really cool. It's really like just straight from the book two art. Like I think it's book two art of her like Rava is like emanating out of her sort of, or you can see Rava in her. So that one's probably my favorite. They're also gonna do Mako and Amon and Asami and Asami.
Is Amon
So
kind of a
far,
weird choice? It seems like a weird choice.
I would have thought that they would have gone with. I mean, maybe they're not done really saying which one's gonna come out with,
Well, that's fair.
but
Okay.
but I would have thought that Bolin and Pabu would have been a nice one, and then Tenzin. But I mean, they haven't even done a like I forget what they call them a second round of Avatar pops yet, which I'm sure they will.
I
But
feel
I think those are pretty popular.
I feel like Varric would make a good pop. I I don't know why. It just he seems like he'd lend himself well to a pop bobblehead. I do.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
I don't have. So I think I've mentioned this before. I think I have two pops, and they're both special gifts. And that's why I have them. But when you first posted this, like I could have sworn that the pop phase was dying. And so like in my
No.
head, I'm kind of I know it's sacrilege to say it on the show here, especially in front of you, but I like walk into my game room like mentally mocking pops. I'm like, man, I can't believe pops lasted this long. when I walk into my room full of Legos and video games that I don't play, actively mocking somebody else's preferred mode of plastic. And then I felt great shame and embarrassment at my judgmentalness. But yeah, it turns out Pop's still going strong,
Uh,
apparently.
pops, pops are pops are pretty strong. I don't think they're going to end anytime soon. They're very, very popular. Like, yeah, they're not, and they've spanned just throughout not only
Everything.
media, but they've spanned it everywhere. So, I mean, I've
I'm
invested probably a
continually
grand in them. So,
I'm continually surprised. Like, we go to Planet Comic Con, just little old KC Planet Comic Con, and just the sort of total quantity of pops in that building. It rivals the number of comics in that building. It's kind of impressive in that regard. So, I did see. I think I saw the other Cora pop, and it actually looked like so big and detailed that I was curious. I thought maybe it was fake. Like it was such a cool looking. So I picked this one. I was like, no, this one looks legit. The other one was really. I think
is
it
it was
that
oh was it
with
the one of her
Rava coming out.
bending?
Yeah, or what was that? It was she water bending,
I think yeah, there's one that she's water bending, fire bending, and earth bending. It's pretty much a season one, straight from the season one art.
and it was really complicated and big. I was like, that's probably fake. And so then I picked this one. Then you're explaining it. And I was like, oh wait, never mind, that's real. Man, pops taking
Yeah,
over the
but
world. We'll get your. I didn't realize that the Avatar pops were so recent. I thought they had actually been out a little longer, but it's cool that they are coming this direction.
yeah. All right. Ooh, I almost hung up on you there. Well, I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what happened if I did. All right.
I don't
Next
know.
piece of
We'll find
news
out later,
is
though.
I haven't really talked about these recently, but there were some new Avatar action figures. I bought one a couple weeks ago, done by Diamond Select. Diamond Select makes really great like PVC statues, which are relatively cheap, but they're very great detailed. But these are actual action figures. Like they have um, articulation and all those things. So they have three of them. They have Katara, Aang, and Zuko. I am only holding myself to buying Aang because I am not. I'm running out of room, and I don't want to buy another shelf.
You gotta hit like a bigger spill point before you buy another shelf. You can't buy another shelf because of like one straw. It has to be like, I'm gonna
Yeah,
expand my whole collection in this way and add another shelf to justify it.
yeah. But those are really cool. I'll maybe review the Aang one I have at some point in time. But the other piece of news is the Rise of Kyoshi audiobook. If you remember, I broke this story. Me.
You specifically on Twitter, which in the future, this is the kind of thing that you will break on Avatar Twitter, right? This is
Yeah, yeah.
I did follow Aaron Ehas immediately on gosh, I can't even think on the last podcaster's Twitter. And then I couldn't remember FCE's name, so I couldn't find him. Like I couldn't think of his name off the top of my head, so then I didn't find him.
Oh, yeah. So the audiobook is coming out and it will be released, I believe, on May 5th, 2020. So I'm surprised it took that long. I don't know how long it takes between audiobooks to come out
It's
and
a little
a book
weird.
to be released,
Maybe
but
they have to
maybe
see if it's successful before they pay somebody to
yeah,
read it and publish it, or
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
but it's officially coming out. Will be out May 5th. So I'm really excited for that. So it'll be really great to listen to right before Shadow of Kyoshi comes out, and that brings us next story that Shadow of Kyoshi, which we already knew was coming out in July. I think now we know it's concrete coming out July 21st or 22nd, one of those days.
I already forget. I
But
think it
there are
was
some,
21st.
yeah, but there is some brand new cover art for it, and it looks really beautiful. Like I want a poster of this, although I
Yeah, that
don't
looks
have anywhere to
baller.
hang it. But I think it looks way better than the Rise of Kyoshi. Like Rise of Kyoshi was like such a close up on Kyoshi that I don't think it did it as much justice. It was great art nonetheless, but this one looks really really cool, and especially cool to have Rangi or Rangi, whatever her name is, um, in the background there. We'll actually get to figure out what her pronunciation of her name is once we get the audiobook.
Yeah, that'll be
I'm
great to hear
sure.
somebody else say it.
Yeah, yeah,
It'll solve a lot of our questions that we had in our book review. I I
Yeah.
think what helps this book though also like I think it's a better cover, but also just like
Hmm.
context. Like it looks awesome, and we kind of have an idea of what's supposed to be happening in this cover, and so I think that helps too. I would love this poster, honestly, kind of without the text or anything, like just a poster
Yeah, yeah.
of the two characters and the God, it looks like blood smears there, which pretty violent books. I suppose it could be blood smears.
So
That'd be a
yeah,
sick poster.
it really would be. Which is this poster is interesting because shout out to Kachi 95, who's been really I think just leading the charge on fan art for Rise of Kyoshi. Um, he or she, they, I'm sorry, I don't know the gender of that person, have just really brought to life so many of the characters and their the way they visualize Rangi is really, really close to here, which is almost, and I don't know if you could, I don't know if it's like, I wouldn't call it rudely that is close. But they're I mean, hey, you put a character description out there, a person draws the description, and then you paint it, and then you do it yourself. Of course, they're going to look close. But
I would like
that
to think
person
that
seems to
means
be
you
taking it in,
described it well. You
yeah.
painted a
But that
good
person seems
picture.
to be taking it in really good stride. They're like, hey, I don't know if this purposely looks alike a lot. They said, hope it. Let me just go read Keikachi's thing because I'm butchering. Long story short, they're really happy about it. Like genuinely happy that their visualization of Rangi is close to her actual canon representation. She says, I'm not sure, or he, sorry, I'm not sure if it was intentional or a coincidence, but I'm beyond decided that my Rangi design basically became canon. So, nothing but love from Kikachi 95.
That was a really nice
And
way of that person to word that as well.
yes, yes,
Very
yeah.
appropriately
Very,
worded.
yeah.
I
Other than,
No, I think it just means a very accurate picture was painted. Whether it's coincidence or not, it just means a good picture was painted, and that's a really awesome looking design. It's funny. I would love to go back
yeah.
and listen to see how we pronounced it the first time, because I don't remember how we were doing it, or if I don't think we settled on anything because we admitted that we have no idea. But I keep thinking Ranji, and then you keep saying Rangi, and so it's like whatever we settled on didn't
I,
stick because I was thinking the exact opposite. I need to hear somebody else say it. I'll be excited for the audiobook just to
yeah.
help me out with some names. Like I got Kyoshi, and that's it.
Yeah. Some say, yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty sure we got Kel saying it right. It has to be
Kelsang
Kel
and
saying.
Janju. I think there's only so many ways that. I mean, I suppose you could soften that first consonant or so, but Janju, I
Yeah.
think we're close there. So yeah, we're.
I was
I'll
calling,
give us
I
some
was
credit.
calling, I was calling him Jianju, but I think you're right. It's like more like John Jew.
Yeah, let's see. I guess it just proved though that we still could be messing it up. So I'll give us some credit. I won't give us too much, but I'll give us a little credit.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really
Yep.
exciting. I will definitely. I do not own any audiobooks. I may or may not have not sanctioned copies of audiobooks on my computer, but I do not legally own any audiobooks, and I will be happy to purchase this one right away to listen to, especially in the vehicle. So that's exciting.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
All right.
and the
Yeah.
book.
That's
Well,
all the
and of course,
news.
yeah, of course, Shadow Kyoshi. I'll absolutely buy that. Buy that immediately. Sorry, I don't know why I said the audiobook and then just ignored the the actual book. I will buy both immediately, and I'll be very excited about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
can't wait.
wrapping up news then. Chris noted earlier that in this episode we didn't want to like discredit whatever episode we're on. I kind of forget what episode we're on, but we didn't want to like discredit it by not having a normal episode set up for it. So this episode we decided that we're gonna do something we intended to do a long time ago, which was rank the Tales of Ba Sing Se, just to give this episode a fulcrum and a strong purpose, but not discredit whatever episode we were talking about next. So Chris, do you want to walk us through how we are going to proceed with this little ranking?
Yeah. We're just gonna rank them pretty much each of us based off of really not like objective ranking, just which one we like better. We'll just go from my sits, your sits, or my sits, your sits. Wait, I
Let's
just said the same
snake
thing.
draft it. Let's snake draft it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So I'll start off with my number six, which I have a feeling it's the same as your number six, which is the Tale of Aang. This one just it's felt so fluffy. Like like sure Aang goes and he makes a zoo. Like that's pretty much the story there. I could honestly not ever watch it again. I'll be perfectly fine and content.
there is one. You're absolutely right. There's one thing that can be said for like sometimes we say I could not watch that and it'd be fine, or I could skip it and be fine in like an apathy way. But this one, like the way Aang behaves, kind of actively pisses me off. So I would actually go on to say, if there is an easy way to skip 1/6 of this episode, that I would happily skip Aang's. Is an easy number six. It also feels forced. I think the other ones do much better job of like maybe sort of connecting to characters, and then for
Mhm.
whatever reason, I know Aang likes animals. I get it, but it doesn't. It just I don't know why it feels kind of force fed. Like guys, we need a and one more vignette. Let's do Aang, of
Yeah.
course. Great. So easy pick for six. So
One more French bread.
um, so I will I'll go with my five then, if you don't mind,
Yes. No,
in
go ahead.
snake fashion, and then I think you'll disagree, but I picked Sokka's because his poetry is so corny and awful that I still really like the episode or the vignette in general. Like it's a huge leap for me from six to five. But just generally, like his poetry is kind of corny, and the setup of the vignette is really corny and goofy, but not in the way that I typically enjoy my comedy, if you will. So, Sokka number five.
Yeah, I do disagree with that. My number five is the. I feel like I should just go ahead. Anyway, my number five is the Tale of Momo, which I guess they're just not that. It's really a sweet. It's sweet, I guess. It's sweet and innocent. Um, but I think part of it is just there's no dialogue, and I mean that that almost. I mean it's a very great task. I'm sure that is very difficult to do, like very hard to do to create a story with no dialogue. Like it goes back to like Tom and Jerry days. But those people were communicating like very well. The Tom and Jerry was just through really. I mean, they spoke through their violence, really. Um,
Like Itchy and Scratchy and Tom and Jerry before them, they speak through violence.
yeah. Oh, I miss those cartoons.
I do too.
But the Telemomo, it was just fairly innocent, and I enjoy watching it. This is probably I think it's good, but it's just not my favorite.
That's fair.
Um, yeah. Going to my number five, I agree with you on Tale of Sokka.
Oh, this will be your number four.
My bad. Yeah, number four. Number four, Tale of Sokka. Um, I think it's good. I really like this Sokka. You get a little bit more dimension to Sokka here. Like, oh, Sokka is an artist. Like, Sokka is almost a Renaissance man, but he doesn't get the credit because he's a goofball, right? Like, he's a
You just, I feel like
like,
you just described me.
like Sokka is a scientist. He's a mechanic. He's a strategist. He's a poet. He's an aspiring detective. Wouldn't call him a detective because he picks up on very noticeable cues that anybody can pick up on. Um,
It's my level of
but
detecting right there.
yeah, but I love that he just really excels at poetry, except for that one aspect of it. But it's a really I think it's a really funny episode, even though it's a little. It's like, geez, how like he's almost kind of like a Mary Sue. It's like he just jumps in any situation and he completely excels at it. But I don't take it as that because I just think, oh, he's really gifted at art.
Which we see later in the I forget the sword. What is it? The sword fighting master, the sword master. I
Yeah,
forget the title of that episode. That like he has his own unique way of creating art, and that's maybe it's like a this is like a foreshadowing.
yeah. Sokka's Master. That's what that episode was called.
Sokka's Master. Thank you. I couldn't remember. I like that episode a lot.
Oh, I love it. I
It's,
rewatched the episode immediately after it came on. I remember watching it on my laptop. Wait, did I watch it on my laptop? No, I had Nickelodeon TV. I was in my college dorm room. Anyway.
I'm comfortable saying without looking that if we, especially if you pair the 2 part episodes as a single episode, I'm pretty comfortable saying it's in my top 10 episodes without looking or thinking too hard, and likely higher.
Well, I think that's Sokka's Master the next episode that we need to review.
I was thinking we were on to the old lady one next. That's got to be coming up. Like we just did Painted
No, that doesn't.
Lady, and now
No,
we.
Old Lady one doesn't start till like episode 9 or
Oh,
episode 8.
okay.
The
Well, maybe
Puppet
we are
Master.
coming up on it then. Hopefully it's soon. Hey, this is our teaser for that one. Come back and listen to our thoughts on that one because that's a great one. Uh,
uh,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So you're next. No, you're
So we
next.
got my number 4, and again, it. There's only 6 of these, and I think in our opinions, 5 of them are good. So it seems harsh, but Toph and Katara for me is number 4.
Ugh.
And
Oh.
I don't have any qualms with it. I can't even really think of anything bad to say about it. It's just not as informative or as interesting to me than the other 3. I think it's very insightful, probably more to Toph than Katara, but it's a nice little relationship builder. It's characters I like. I don't know. It's not quite as interesting to me. Maybe it's the subject matter as the other ones. It's hard to pinpoint
I'm,
qualms with it. It just doesn't.
yeah. I mean, I mean, like you said, there's sits here, which we agree that really is only like one bad one.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
want
that's.
bad is harsh,
I'm
but
actually gonna stick with bad on that one. It's not badly made. It just like I said when I watch it and it pisses me off at
yeah.
Aang, and I don't ever want to be pissed off at Aang.
I guess Tales of Aang reminds me of Avatar would have those little like chibi cartoons. There was one where there was one where they were going out having a bending battle, and then there was another one about like a dance or something like that. And so, like to me, it's equivalent to those, while the rest of these 5 feel like really strong filler episodes.
That's yeah. It just doesn't fit into the same caliber at a minimum, even if I'm being a little
Yeah,
harsh.
yeah,
Uh, s-
it is a real big step down, I
yeah.
think.
Then my number 3 is Momo, and it's kind of funny that like the reasons that you did like it were exactly the reasons I did like it. I just, which is fine. I really thought like, hey, this is really holding my interest and telling a story. I almost don't remember that there's no dialogue, but just in
Yeah.
general, you kind of remember this fantastic journey of this cute little animal that's very endearing to us, and it's very insightful to their current plot predicament. So it's like it's informative, it's interesting, it's different, it makes it stand out in kind of a memorable way. So I actually really liked it for all those reasons. Number 3, as good as I can like it for being barely top half, I guess.
Wow, I'm really surprised that you're number 2 then. Um, okay, so
Well, that's fair.
my
I
uh
had to think about it for
my
a minute.
number
Like, how'd you
3
know? Never mind. That's dumb.
my number 3 is the 3? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll do 3 and 2.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay. My number 3 is the Tale of Zuko. It's it's really great, I think. It's Zuko being a dork. Dork Zuko to me is like the best Zuko, where he doesn't know how to be normal. He doesn't know how to go on a date. He 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 makes a fool of himself a lot. But to me there's so much. This is like, hey, this is what my life could have been like. If I settle down right now, this could be my life. And he genuinely has a really great time on this date with Jen, which I forget if all 3, me, you, and Jamie, shipped
Yeah, I
this.
think we
I think we shipped
sunk.
it. Oh wait, no, no,
No,
no.
no.
Jamie, I'm pretty sure Jamie did not ship it. Now that I think about
Jamie
it,
sunk it.
I
I
think
probably floated it at best, but then I started shipping Jin with Sparky Sparky Boom Man, so I
yeah,
was trying
that's
to move
right.
her. I was
You
trying to
guys were
move her away.
completely against me. Yeah, you guys were
I
completely against
just
me on this
I'm
one.
not
But
opposed to him, having this date, and that's how dating works. I think it's great, but like as far as any kind of actual ship coming out of it, it's like nah, I probably sunk it in hindsight.
I remember now that you two were really against me on this one. Um, we had some stark differences, but I'm correct, and my opinion is always the best opinion.
And yet you ranked this episode third. Ah, what a disgrace. This
Hey,
vignette,
there's a
sorry.
lot of good stuff, a lot of good stuff there.
It is.
But he had a really good date. I just love that end scene there where he's he walks into his apartment and he slams the door. Ira first asks him how his date was. He walks to his apartment, slams the door as if like the date was terrible, and then he slightly, gently opens it up and just says, "It was nice." Like to me, that is like Zuko letting some joy into his life, and really just was a great cap to that little story. My number two is the tale of Toph and Katara. This is just two girls who haven't always just gotten along, just really getting along. Like to me, this is a, a representation of their relationship coming full circle. I just love the moment with Toph at the end there. As we talked about before, my thoughts getting plagiarized. I'm kidding, it's not. Even if someone did take it from me, I'm completely happy with that. Me somebody listened and someone was like, "Oh, you
Yeah,
said something insightful," but I doubt that happened. I'm pretty sure someone just happened to be watching it and thought the same thing. I mean, millions of people watch Avatar all the time.
it's a fairly popular show, I hear.
Yeah.
Just what I hear. I don't know.
um, but yeah, again, I love that moment. One thing it's the first great moment of Toph being like, "I don't care how I look," like I've never had to worry about that. And Toph says like, I'm sorry, Katara says like, "Yeah, I know you don't care, but I just want you to know you're really beautiful." Like that's like what is that test that like feminist test? I forget what it's called. And
I'm
that
not
makes me sound like I'm
familiar.
negative against feminism, but pretty much where like two women are in the scene together and they're never talking about a guy or something like that.
Oh,
But that
I'm not
probably just
familiar with it.
completely. Oh, you're not familiar with
No.
some social some psychologist or something came up with some tests that it was to prove or to show how like women are portrayed in media or really in film and television. How most of the time, um, it was saying when two women are in a scene together, they should pass this test. Like, are they talking about a man? Like, they should be talking about other things besides pretty much men and like I don't know other things that women stereotypically talk about in movies and television shows that are, I think, mostly ran by men. But anyway, this would have passed that test. The legitimacy of that test is, I don't know, up for debate or whatever, but it's a test nonetheless that people have quoted in the
That makes
past.
it's a very interesting experiment at a minimum.
Yeah, feminist test. But yeah, so that's my number two.
So then I will do my number two.
The Betch, it's called the Bechdel test. Yeah,
Bechtel test. Bechtel test.
yes, Bechdel,
Is it
I think
Bechtel
Bechdel.
test? That sounds kind of
Yeah,
familiar to me.
also known as the Bechdel-Wallace test, is a measure of the representation of women in fiction. It asks whether a work features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man.
Oh, actually, Avatar would pass that test a lot, which
Oh gosh, they would fly.
is
They would
not
win with flying colors.
is not surprising, I guess. Probably one of the biggest reasons that we and so many people enjoy Avatar. So
Yeah.
my number two, then, that as you probably have guessed, is the Tale of Zuko. Y'all, you and Jamie always harping on me about like not liking Zuko enough, and I always say that it's because he's so like he. I always feel like he's unrelatable because he's sort of so bad and starts off at such a like a dramatically bad place. I was like, this is one of the few times to this point where Zuko acts like I always like him when he acts more like a human. I always relate to him better when he acts like a human. Well, this is like as close as he gets other than a couple moments up to this point in the series. So yeah, I love this episode. It's insightful, it's interesting and memorable, and just because I don't ship them long term, I have no issue. Like I like Jen, and it's a nice like little date opportunity that feels like something plausible that could happen. So yeah, I love this vignette. I have zero issues with Zuko in this vignette, and it's about as relatable as I ever feel Zuko is. When you separate it from all of his other hyper dramatic, um, everything's about him. So, yeah, it's a great vignette. I love it. Very useful. Really feeds his character in a very short amount of time. And then, if you have not guessed, I will go ahead and spoil that number one for me, of course, is the tale of Iroh. Chris, I'd love to hear your thoughts on your number one pick as well.
Well, of course, it is a tough Iroh. Like, who? I'm really curious if anyone out there does not have this as their as ranked as their number one tale of
The
boxing. Say,
It's the one guy that didn't vote Derek Jeter into the Hall of Fame that made him not
yeah, I saw
unanimous.
that.
That guy doesn't like this. The same number of people. No, I'm sure there are people out there that like other ones better. But if you are a true Avatar fan, I'm gonna say there's like a 95% chance that this is in your top two favorite vignettes. Like a very steep chance that it's yeah. Gosh,
I mean, it
about to
is.
make me cry
I
just
mean,
thinking
it
about
is.
it.
I mean, just just 4 words, leaves from the vine. Like, there's so many. Like, if I just go to like any post of Avatar, anything on Facebook, on YouTube, anywhere, in the comment section, the comments are big enough, so not in my videos. Someone someone says leaves from the vine and they quote it, and it gets all the likes and everything because it is one of the most beautiful, heartbreaking songs in anything I've ever heard of before, ever.
My my wife is a funeral director, so I have become somewhat desensitized to death a little bit. And so it's sort
You're
of
not afraid
troubling
of
to me.
death.
I, no, I still fear it. I just desensitized. But um, there's a difference. There's a difference, and it's actually very
Yeah.
selfishly motivated. So I'm not proud of it. But it's a little disturbing that I care more about the death of this fictional person's son that happened prior to the fiction that I'm watching, based on this 4-minute vignette than I do about other real people. Sometimes I think that's not a good sign for me as a human, but it is a good sign for how touching a few minutes this is.
Yeah. And I think it's even before he, gets on top of the hill and brings up that memorial for his son, it was already a really good episode. Like, I probably would have ranked it
Top two, top
number probably
three,
no, probably number 3. I think Zuko's would wait, what did I even put in my number 2?
Toph
That's
Katara,
my
Toph Katara.
yeah. Um it probably still would have ranked it in top 3. Yeah. Yeah, it still would have ranked the top 3. It would have been better for me than Aang, of course, than Momo, and better than Sokka's story. So, and then you just put the whole freaking. It's like putting the sundae on top of the cherry at that point.
That's a beautiful, tasty metaphor.
Yeah, no, that's I'm going to use that
Actually,
again sometime.
sounds really good right now. So we're kind of on a diet, so that sounds really really good right now. Yeah. So you know what? It's one of those things where yeah, most people die old, and most people live nice, happy lives. And Iroh is one of our favorite characters, one of most people's favorite characters. So to see him for the first time dealing with this very unique minority set of issues, and just out of I don't know how else to say it. It's a very unique situation and a unique set of emotions from a favorite character, and I don't know if there would be a more touching thing that could even happen in the Avatar universe. It would be hard to imagine or dream one up.
Yeah. Yep. All right, and so to quickly recap my picks, number six was Tale of Aang. Number five, Tale of Momo. Number four, Tale of Sokka. Number three, Tale of Zuko. Number two, Tale of Toph and Katara. And number one, of course, Tale of Iroh.
So we agreed at the top and the bottom, which is kind of cool. That's maybe unexpected or
Yeah.
unusual. So let me see what I had here. I had Tale of Aang, Tale of Sokka, Tale of Toph and Katara, and then Momo, and then Zuko, and then Iroh. So I ended with the bad guys. That's kind of funny.
Mhm. Yeah. And honestly, this episode is it is the perfect filler episode. I mean, you got the story plot didn't move all that much, but you supported a little bit, and you just learned a lot more about a few of the characters, and you just got to sit with the characters. I love sitting and just breathing the same air kind of as the characters do, with no, real things happening around you. It really humanizes them.
Yeah, and well, I mean that's probably why I get to like come in contact with my inner Zuko in this episode. Normally, I don't care for the vignette style of episodes, like whether it's here or a sitcom or
Hmm.
anything. I don't love it, and even here, in the grand scheme of things, it's never going to personally be one of my favorite episodes. In fact, it's probably fairly low on my list in terms of like individual episode rankings. But actually, sitting here and going through this exercise does give me more appreciation for it than I probably had previously. So that's kind of nice. I said it doesn't change my feelings on the style of episode, but there's only one. Everybody gets one. um, so yeah, I'm glad we got to go through this exercise and give me a reason to think about it a little more. And I think that's really all we had planned for this particular episode, which, to be fair, we still talked for 50 minutes, and we didn't even talk about the Super Bowl, so we'll talk about that next week. We
Yeah.
talked about Kawhi and Braids. We didn't get to the Super Bowl, but it's the height of basketball season right now, so that's fine. But hey, if you have nothing else to offer today, I will go ahead and say my goodbyes and thank you for joining, and apologize for again for the havoc that trying to put up some lights has caused in my podcast life. Heart was in the right place, I swear. That's all I got.
Nope,
Chris,
I got
anything else? No.
all I got.
I
No.
can't see you wave, so you'll have to talk yourself
Oh
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have any questions, comments, concerns? Let us know. Oh, and what I mean, if anyone's watching this, how do you rank the Tales of Boxing Say? Let us know, and that's all I got.
Let us know on the Facebook page, of course, or at last underscore podcasters, Twitter and Instagram or Facebook page, or in person or whatever. You know what? Just talk to us. Obviously, we're happy to talk Avatar at whatever point. And in the meantime, have a tremendous week, and we will talk to you later. Have a good one.